Hey everyone, happy Monday morning. Um, let's talk about crimes and jails and putting people in jail and that kind of thing. Um, everyone kind of complains about the fact that some countries have unjust laws and they put you in jail for stupid things. For example, in the US and a lot of area states, it's illegal to smoke marijuana. Now, I don't think it's a very good idea to smoke marijuana in general, but if you do, you shouldn't have to go to jail for it. That's just stupid. And people try to change the laws, and that happens very, very slowly. And there are a lot of laws that will just never change. Like in some really backwards countries, um, there's a really lot of stupid things that are illegal, and that's almost never going to change. There are an example for like in some South America, Catholic South American countries, abortion is illegal, and abortion is so illegal that sometimes women get prosecuted for having miscarriages, and they say, "Oh no, I didn't even know I was pregnant." Like there was one case recently where a girl was raped and she didn't know, or I'm sorry, she knew she was raped, but she didn't know she was pregnant, and she didn't tell anybody that she was raped because she was embarrassed about it. And a few months later, she started bleeding and gave birth to a stillborn fetus, and so somehow the police got involved and accused her of purposely aborting it and knowing about it and da 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 da, and she had to go on a trial, and that's just stupid, right? So there are many free market anarchist solutions to crime and prison and things like that. They range from decentralized autonomous organizations to private security to various other things. But one solution that I think would be pretty good: simply kicking people out of the country when they commit a crime, rather than actually putting them in jail for 5 years. Why would you even want them to stay in the country if they committed a crime that bad that you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars incarcerating them? You could save a lot of money by just kicking them out. Now that raises another problem. What bordering country is going to take all the criminals from the country next door? Um, so that brings me to my next solution. You don't kick them to just any country. You kick them to countries that will take them and countries where that crime isn't illegal, right? So if you say that girl in Ecuador, if she was convicted for whatever reason, she wouldn't be put in jail. She would be given immigration rights to a country where abortion was legal, if the government decided that's what she did. Or like in the United States, even within provinces or states, if you got caught smoking pot in a state where it was illegal, they wouldn't put you in jail for a few years. They would simply ban you from ever coming to that state again, or for a period of 10 years or whatever, and they would make you move to Colorado, okay, or a state where it was legal. And there are some worse examples, less comfortable examples, but they could still apply. For example, if you get arrested for domestic violence, like if you beat your wife in the US, you wouldn't go to jail in the US. Why would we even want that person in the country? We would just send them to Saudi Arabia or some country where beating your wife is legal, which sounds horrible, but isn't it better to send that person to somewhere where their crime isn't a crime than to keep them around in your society where they might not heal, especially in these terrible prisons where recidivism rate is very high, right? Yeah. All right, and then so there would have to be a lot of treaties in between various countries. They would say, okay, we will accept certain people as long as they meet our general immigration standards. Anyways, we will help them and expedite their process and blah blah blah. Now, to save the government more money, these people would also be liable for their own travel and visa costs and moving. The government wouldn't pay for this like they pay for prisons. However, in that case, prisons would have to still exist. They wouldn't be prisons, they would be work camps, which sounds terrible, but if somebody got convicted of a crime and they didn't have enough money to buy a flight ticket to get to another country, they would be forced to work in a place where they couldn't escape, basically. So a work camp to make the money needed to get out. Now, of course, in a government society, that would be horrible. Those would be like gulags where you'd be forced to work for 50 years for 1 cent a day to make enough money. But in a free market anarchist society, those would all be private institutions competing against each other to get people out the fastest and pay them the most money. And prisoners would have a choice of which one they went to. So that would work itself out, right? So people hear that, and the stupider of the people will think, well, private prisons don't work that way, so why would they work that way in a free market anarchist society? Well, private prisons don't exist. You hear a lot of crap about private prisons these days and how bad they are. People are profiting from putting all these kids in jail for pot or whatever. There's no such thing as a private prison. All these places they call private prisons in the U.S., They have contracts with the government guaranteeing 80% capacity. If you have a contract with the government guaranteeing that you're going to make money no matter what your performance or recidivism rate is, that's not competition in a free market. That's not a private company. That's a taxpayer funded company, right? So there are no private prisons really in the US to speak of. Or in other countries, so long as they have those contracts with the government, they should be able to compete on their own merit and on their own performance. Anyways, that's all I have today. Any comments, questions, leave below. Any more ideas you have? Oh, one more thing. If you commit a crime so bad it's illegal in every country in the world, nobody wants you, they send you to Antarctica. Good idea, right?